Oh, wow. Peace and shalom. Peace and shalom to the tribe. Would you take a second while you look at this image here and listen to this beautiful music coming at you in 432 hertz, the Schumann resonance, the natural vibrational frequency of Ama, Big Mama, or this true melanated earth plane. Yeah, cons. Did not decline. High tech. High society. The opposite of his story or the history that we've been fed. Well, no more. No mas. Is the thing about a lie is once a hole get poked into that lie, it deflates with the quickness. And oh yeah, we're popping that lie, poking a hole right into it. So cons, I want to talk flight. I want to talk air. I want to talk ether. I want to talk up and away. So right now I want to talk flight. And again, the narrative is hunter-gatherer savages, and that's why they had to take them out. It's not that it was high-tech, high society, and they were greedy and wanted it all for themselves. They wanted to take over the whole world and enslave the entire world. No, not that. Of course not. No. Now, hunter-gatherer savage, as you can see here. And if you didn't notice, there's the water cons. You're talking city on the water. Oh yeah. I don't know about you, but I personally have never seen anything this pristine, this beautiful, and essentially perfect. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Not personally. And if you have, let me know where it's at. Let me know what you saw. Put it down in the comments below. So here we go, cons. Let's go ahead and poke a hole in this narrative. Let's go ahead and poke a hole in this lie, this hijack. We're coming for you, hijack. Oh, we're coming for you. Let's go, Drop Nation. Let's go. So here we go. Like I said, I want to talk flight. And so I simply asked, what was the first flying machine in history? I want to know when we first went up in the air here. And so it tells us that the first sustained, powered, controlled flight in history is believed to have taken place. Believed to have taken place, huh? Let's prove that belief wrong here. To have taken place on the 24th of September, 1852. 24th of September, 1852. Remember that date, cons, because that's going to be super important here in a few minutes. When Henry Gifford flew about 17 miles. Whoops. Alright, so when Henry Gifford flew about 17 miles in France from Paris to Trapeze with the Gifford dirigible, a non-rigid airship filled with hydrogen and powered by a 3-horsepower steam engine. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, Con. Again, shout out Natural by Law. Shout out Terrence Howard. Shout out Con Drop. Shout out Kudimeo Wa. Shout out to Yosef the Real. Shout out to Five Eyes Ma. Or better yet, MHOE Ma. Dragons are on the wall, Con. Dragons are on the wall. So here we go. Filled with hydrogen. Numero uno. Number one. And like Natural by Law and like Terrence Howard we're talking, those elements towards the top want to go up. They're always aiming to go upward. Up, up, and away. And so the ones higher in the periodic table want to go up. And those that are lower wish to be pulled downward. And I guess when you're talking that downward, then you would be talking gravity. But again, it's just a theory, the theory of gravity. Because that's all it is, Con. Is they're forgetting the other side of it, or hijacking and purposefully leaving out the other half of the science, which would be to account for the other side of things. Duality, Con, duality. So gravity wants to talk things being pulled down, but it doesn't talk about things that go up. And what goes up? These things higher up on the periodic table want to go up, up, and away into the ionosphere or the atmosphere. And when you're talking ion, you're talking anion. And when you're talking anion, you're talking Prester John and the Lost Tribes of Yasharella, Israel. So, flying machines. Let's just take a look at some of this real quick. Early flying machines included all forms of aircraft studied or constructed before the development of modern aeroplane by 1910. Look how beautiful this thing is, Cons. Might have to get that translated. But let's continue here. So, what I have, personally, well, let's start here. So, how did I come to this? I want to talk Washington. I want to talk family, essentially, Con. Not Washington, but the one who allegedly baptized him. When I say allegedly, he did. But we're just talking hijack here for a minute, guys. Okay, so, although George Washington was baptized in the Anglican Church by sprinkling as an infant on April 5th, 1732, descendants of the Baptist chaplain John Gannot, which I would be one of his descendants here, Cons, claimed that Washington asked Gannot to baptize him by immersion at Valley Forge during the Revolutionary War. Despite Gannot's descendants attesting to the veracity of the story through signing affidavits and Washington's baptism allegedly occurring in front of 42 witnesses, no evidence has yet been discovered to confirm the account. The legend begins with the grandchildren of John Gano, former pastor of the First Baptist Church of New York and an army chaplain for the Americans during the Revolutionary War. They signed affidavits in the 1870s and 1880s attesting to the following story. During the harsh winter at Valley Forge... Oh, why was it harsh? Why was it harsh? We're just talking Little Ice Age. George Washington asked John Gano to immerse him in the icy water of the nearby Schuylkill River. As time progressed, the details relating to Washington's baptism changed. One contributing factor to the development of the legend was when a Manhattan pastor named E.T. Sanford commissioned a painting in 1908 showing Gano baptizing Washington in the Potomac River, nowhere near Valley Forge in Pennsylvania. After residing in a church in New Jersey for a while in 1926, the painting moved to William Jewell College in Liberty, Missouri, at the urging of Gano's great-granddaughter. She donated money for the Baptist-affiliated college to name a chapel after John Gano and displayed the painting there. The presence of the painting at the college inspired an author to write an article for the Bulletin of William Jewell College that stridently defended the authenticity of Gano's baptism of Washington. Today, as then, the college does not comment on whether or not the baptism legend is true. Finally, in 1932, Time magazine provided even more provocative details to the legend, drawing from a recent publication. Written by the Sigma Nu fraternity, Time recounted to their national audience that Washington once said to Gano, "I have been investigating the scripture, and I believe immersion to be baptism taught in the Word of God, and I demand it at your hands. I do not wish any parade made or the army called out, but simply a quiet demonstration of the ordinance." Even though the ceremony was to be kept quiet, 42 people still observed Washington's immersion in the Potomac River. Concerning the reliability of the accounts of Washington's baptism, many scholars, including scholars of Baptist history, contend that the baptism legend is most likely false. For instance, Franklin Steiner and Rupert Hughes have pointed out that Gano was not a chaplain under Washington, but General Clinton. Now see, this is what really tipped me off and got me diving into some of this, is because they're lying. They're absolutely lying. John Gano did baptize General George Washington. He did serve under him. I've got the books, I've got the documents, and not only that, cons, not only that. This is the gift that was given to John Gano as a gift for the baptism from General George Washington. This clock right here. Now, the story I was told ever since a child, because this was sitting in my great-grandmother's house, who was almost 100 years old at the time when I was a young kid. And this clock had sat in there in the living room the entire time. And this story I'd always been told, same as my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents had been told, was the story of John Gano baptizing George Washington, who he served under. And Washington had a brother-sister set of these tall clocks, these long case clocks, grandfather clocks, and that he had given one of the twins to John Gano as a gift. And so allegedly Washington has the other one stored away. I've got to go try to find it. But it baffled me that historians tried to discount these claims. And I'm going, hold on. The clock is right here. The story has been here. And the question is, why would they lie? Why would my family lie? And the simple answer is they wouldn't. They didn't. Historians are lying. And that is what I'm still digging on, is why. That's a super important. Why are they trying to separate John Gano and George Washington, is my question. And so that's what I've been digging on. So let's just take a few more looks at this clock here. And I'm trying to find the maker of this clock. There are no markings. It is not signed. There's nothing to signify or identify who made this beautiful piece of art and technology. So it's got the moon dial. So let's continue. So instead of the moon here, you see the moon's going back behind. And this baffled me. I couldn't believe this when I saw this. Why? I understand a ship being on the water, but why do they have to show one blowing up? I just found that to be odd. And also, if anybody knows exactly what these things are here, they look like Christmas ornaments. And when I looked into it, the name Papal Tiara came up. P-A-P-A-L Tiara. But as I was looking at this clock here recently, when I went to my dad's house, I got looking at it, because I hadn't seen it in a while. My uncle had had it and was keeping a hold of it for a bit. And so when my dad got it, as it was passed down to him, I got to looking at it, because I hadn't seen it since I was a young child. And so there were a couple things I quickly pointed out to my father and said, "This is odd, Dad. It shows North Pole, and then it shows land connecting to North America. Very odd. And the same over here. You have the North Pole, and then you have this land connecting to what? And this is the other thing. Where is Russia, and where is China at on this map? I'll wait. Where is Russia, and where is China at on this map? Bodybag for the illusion. Tartary. And then as you see right here, here is the Strait of Anion depicted right here. So you can tell that there is, everything's connected, cons. Got New Zealand down there. It's just New Holland over here. It says the North Pacific Ocean right here. You have Barbary, Egypt. Everything's pretty normal besides those few things that kind of stuck out to me. So I've been digging on this clock. I've been digging on why in the world they would try to separate John Gannot and George Washington. I just want you cons to take a look at this. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's you can tell it's got some age on it. But that got me looking in to some other things, and I'm just gonna have you guys follow along here real quick. I don't want to lose you. It's just gonna get interesting real quick here. So, yep, long case clock owned by Mrs. Walter Gannot, Martinsville, Indiana. Okay, so it would have been my great-grandmother. And so I'll let you guys can pause this and read it if you want. It's just from a guy who had helped restore it, and we were trying to figure out the maker of the clock, because that is still a mystery to this day. And that's what I'm really digging on. But in this, it says, based upon the information investigated, no definitive conclusion can be offered as to the maker. There is a good possibility, however, that Aaron Willard did construct this clock about 1800 at his Boston shop. So Aaron Willard was the name that we got here. And that was done December of 1976 by James B. Dubois. And so, let's back up here real quick. So, again, so there's your painting. John Gannot. Washington right here. John Gano right here. And so as I started to study this, I found out that, this Gano side of the family was, most definitely the hijack. Definitely had a huge hand in coming over here and taking out the Kingdom of India Superior, the Kingdom of Prester John. Now my question that I have is, were they brainwashed by the church, or did they know what they were doing? That's my question. I feel like these were good people that were just on the wrong side of things. But it's to be seen. I don't know. I can't say for certain. My family, since I've been alive, has been loving, caring, and kind. But in his time, you're talking a bunch of master Freemasons, you're talking skull and crossbones, and you're talking about people who helped set up this country nowadays, this corporation. They helped set up the corporation. And so, as I'm looking for the maker of the clock, I happen to... So, it said that Aaron Willard made it. And I found somebody with the clock very similar to the one that I showed you by a man named Simon Willard, which would have been relation to Aaron Willard. So, this is where things get super interesting. So this clock, very, very, very similar to... Sorry, here, give me just a second. Very similar to that. It's missing the other two, by the way, guys. These right here on my clock, or my family's clock, is missing, but they did go right here. And so I thought, man, that's very similar. Very, very similar. Then I got to looking, cons. So this is, as you see, Simon Willard. 1798 is the date on that. I just now saw that. So, Simon Willard, born April 3rd, 1753, and died August 30th, 1848. Very important. Very, very important. And so, you got the date right there, Con. 1798 is when this clock was made, apparently, okay? So then tell me, why oh why, and how is this possible? Just soak that in for a minute, cons. Because I'm gonna show you another image where I changed the tone or the color of it to where there's something specific that just pops out like no other. And it's Bodybag for the illusion. So one time here real quick. First flying machine, 24th of September, 1852. But hang on. This is 1798, so this is like 50-something years prior to the first invention of the flying machine. So, Con, let's just go ahead and get a good look at this real quick. You got the guy, kind of looks like a Quaker or something, like what they would have you think of as like a Quaker. Or a Huguenot, just a farmer walking up here. You got this nice little two-story house. You've got this concrete silo. I assume it's a grain silo or something of that nature for farming. And there's another house up there on a hill. And as you look, there's water. There's a boat in the water. There's a bridge right here with the 2, 4, 5 arches. What is this? What is this right here? up in the sky. That ain't the clouds. Here's clouds right here. And look back here. So this looks like the bridge goes over here. You got some trees and stuff in the way, but then up on this hill you have this little concrete cylinder with a spire sticking up. And so I know what it is. I'm 99% sure. Body bag for the illusion. See it? How is that possible? Even AI couldn't deny it. Even AI couldn't deny it. I asked AI, what is that? And they said that it looks like a flying ship. It looks like an airship. But to be honest with you, I think it looks really similar to what we would call a UFO. So Mike, let's go ahead and take a look at this other image here. So they can't deny it. I changed the color on it. There's your boat. There's your bridge. There's your spire. What's that? Hoa, hoa, hoa. We're breaking down these barriers. We're breaking through this illusion, cons. How is there something flying in the sky well before? And it can't be, you can't just say, well, he was just drawing it from inspiration, or there was nothing to inspire from. There was nothing that existed. So how can you draw something at a time when something doesn't exist? And the answer is you can't. You can't. So his story, the history, hijack. It's a lie. And again, Con, because they can't tell you that it was high tech, high society that they came across when they came here. They can't tell you that. Doesn't fit the narrative of Savage. In fact, it seems to be a complete 180. A complete reversal. The old flippy floppy. The old Uno reverse card. The old hijack special. That nobody asked for. Nobody wanted. But oh boy, did we get it. You know what? That's a lie. We did ask for it. Unknowingly and unintentionally, we did ask for it. That's what happens when you practice idolatry. It's what happens when you continually and knowingly break the code. The code being what we call the 9 code, or the 9 commandments, what some of you would know as the 10 commandments. We need to be that code keeping Con return back to our natural state. Peace, unity, kindness, love, compassion, honor, glory, righteousness, Con, and righteousness. So again, I'm telling you that the story, or the narrative that has been laid upon us, is a bold-based lie. No more lies. No more deceit. We're coming for you, Hijack. It's even when I'm not looking for it. Even when I'm not looking for it. Those lies in the narrative just keep popping up over and over again. Con, I was not looking for something like this. I was simply trying to study and find the maker of the clock that my family is in possession of. Just trying to find the maker of this. That's all. That's all. I'm just trying to find all connections between John Gano and George Washington, because there's a reason why they're trying to separate the two and say that it was a lie. Because it's not a lie. That's part of your proof right here. No maker name, no nothing, but it sure looks very similar to this clock. But they had, Aaron and Simon Willard both had very similar clocks to this style. I don't think it was either of them, but it's to be seen. Up, up, and away. I believe truly and wholeheartedly that our ancestors traveled freely. High tech, high society. And then something happened where you hit the old reset button. But again, you know, this is supposedly China, and just look at this tower. And these things were all over the place. Kind of looks like a Tesla coil, doesn't it? It's Drop Nation. You got me charged all the way up right now. Mind blown, noodle baked. May the Most High shower those of you attempting to wake up. The others, may you be showered with Baruch, peace, and shalom. For we are waking up and beginning to see clearly the truth of ourselves and of this world. All right. So cons. With that, I'm gonna take off. Just so you know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to organize these Urbano Monte translations that I have. And I'm going to hit you back to back with more Bodybag. So stay tuned. More to come. Much more to come. It's so much that I'm having a trouble figuring out where to start and how to proceed. Is that every day I just keep accidentally stumbling across more and more things, and so every time I feel like I'm ready to come out and present something, I just get shook with more things. And thank you, Drop Nation. Thank you. Thank you for leading me back to the water. And I hope and pray that you too may be led back to the wada, that primary mem. It's a con. With that, I think it's time to jump in our flying ships and go up, and away to that ionosphere, or that anion. Talking Ania, talking lost tribes and promised land, talking the Grand Khan, Prester John, Wong Kong, Prester John, Roger Chola, Jadaron. Talking the Exalted One Khans. Talking that one shepherd. Forever. So with that, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. I wish you love, joy, unity. I wish that and hope and pray that this vibrational frequency takes hold and radiates out to others 1,000-fold. And so we may once again collapse this wave function on peace and shalom, on unity. Is the only way that you can do and build something like this is through unity. Not death notes. Not crypto. Not the old crypt. Because again, you're just talking death. I want to talk life, cons. Breathing in that ether, that ha, and that wah. It's a con. It's time to tribe up. It's time to vibe up. It's time to code up. Keeping the Most High over everything. Keeping the code on our heart, on our minds, and striving to keep the code. Peace and shalom. Peace and shalom. For payback in full, no longer the fool. Payback in full, no longer the fool. Payback in full, no longer the fool. Say it with me, cons. Break the spell, reverse the curse. Payback in full, no longer the fool. Hala, hoa.